the AC. Hot takes.
Lights, camera, and action is large. Eagles get flattened the door to this debate. Why I hate and get irate. We rate and irritate. Your game is on my plate. The fans anticipate. Of course, we give them great.
Gonna turn up the AC. Got the temperature raising. The latest, hottest takes. No bias for ratings. We coming with straight heat. That's why it's amazing. Go ahead and share the link if you feeling what they think.
Pulling daggers like Katie. Launching missiles like Brady. Hot takes on the daily. Outcome is amazing.
Only kick with the IC. Analytics unlikely. No matter what they speak, hot takes turn up AC. Welcome to another installment of Turn Up the AC Hot Takes with Reason on a solo edition. All social media information will be posted in the description below. We ask that you please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe while you're at it so you can be notified when the latest content is available. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a pretty big fight on our hands that is apparently in some pretty serious negotiations right now. As you can see by the image on the screen, I'm talking about Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. Now, this fight makes all the sense in the world to me, more so than a potential Errol Spence Manny Pacquiao fight. And here's why. Because both Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman hold a piece of the WBA Welterweight Championship. Manny Pacquiao is the regular champion. Keith Thurman is the super champion. So this is a way of getting rid of one champion and see who is the real champion for the WBA belt. Now, the reason why that's why I say it makes sense, you know. So, and this fight makes sense for Pacquiao because if you're gonna stick around and you're not gonna get the Mayweather fight, which may or may not happen, but rumors are if Pacquiao can win this fight, then he'll get the Mayweather fight sometime at the end of the year, September or something, or I don't know, but sometime at the end of the year, because this fight between Pacquiao and Thurman may potentially be taking place in the middle of July. They're looking at July 13th or July 20th as a possible date for this fight. Let me tell you, I really think this is a great fight. It has the potential to be a very exciting and action-packed fight because everyone knows the work rate Manny Pacquiao's put out for his entire career. And the past few fights he's had, he's looked pretty good. You know, he had a KO against Matisse, and then who did he fight after that? Then I know he just beat Broner. Yeah, that's what it was. He just beat Broner after that. You know what I mean? Like, he's looking pretty good. To me, he looked good against Broner. But, I mean, at the same time, Broner didn't really have an attack himself. He was just on the defensive all night. So this fight against Keith Thurman is really going to measure, like, how much Pacquiao really has left. And I think this is the perfect fight for both of these fighters. Like, for Manny Pacquiao, I give him a real legitimate shot at winning this fight. I'm not going to say who I think is going to win yet. We'll do that breakdown as we get if the fight gets officially made and when we get closer to that date. But I'm going to say, like, Manny Pacquiao has a legitimate chance to win this fight. Now, if this was Keith Thurman of 2 years ago, you know, how he looked against, you know, Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, and before those fights, you know, leading up to those fights when he was active, I probably wouldn't be thinking he has as this much of a chance. But the way Thurman looked against, you know, Lopez recently, he looked beatable for Pacquiao. So, I mean, this is also a great fight for him to get another. I'm not going to say Pacquiao's a tune-up fight because he's absolutely not. This is a certified pay-per-view fight. But he's good for Thurman to get another fight under his belt, coming back off the 2-year layoff, 2 fights in a year. He's fighting early enough where he could potentially fight a third time at the end of the year. You know what I mean? So this is good for him to get these fights under his belt, get back in the mix, knock the ring dust off, and then potentially get in the ring with, you know, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, you know, maybe sometime, hopefully next year, you know, maybe in the middle of the year, hopefully, because who knows when Thurman's going to think about, you know, going at the top two, who everyone thinks the top 2 welterweights in the division, and that's Crawford and Spence, you know, so we'll see. But Keith Thurman's coming into this fight with a 29-0 record, 22 KOs, man. Like, he's legit. he's certified. Like, he's a legitimate welterweight, and most people probably have him ranked as the number 3 welterweight in the division. You know, I don't think it's fair to have him any lower than that. But to be honest, I'm gonna be real with you. I have Keith Thurman in at least the top 2 of the welterweight division, and the reason why I say at least the top 2 is because I need to see more from Crawford at that weight. Now, a lot of people may take that the wrong way. Terrence Crawford is, in my opinion, one of the top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. But at the same time, he has to prove his worth in this division. And the Amir Khan fight is going to be a good way to show. If he has a dominant win against Amir Khan, you know what I'm saying? That's a good name at the welterweight level. It's not the top name, but, you know, Amir Khan isn't no scrub. You know, so depends on how Terrence Crawford looks in that fight. So, yeah, it's going to be real fun to see how the welterweight division looks at the end of this year, because we got Terrence Crawford, you know, fighting Amir Khan, which is going to be a very good fight. And that same day, we got Danny Garcia fighting again, trying to get himself back into the mix of things. Then potentially we're going to get Errol Spence and Sean Porter happening this year. You know what I mean? Like the welterweight division. And then obviously this fight I'm talking about right now, Pacquiao and Thurman. The welterweight division is on fire right now. If all these fights happen and then like those winners face oh man. Once that starts happening, we're going to start seeing some incredible, potentially like legendary fights. And I'm looking at, you know, Crawford Spence is one of them. Thurman Spence, that's going to be a hell of a fight. So, but before we get there, you know, we got to talk about what's at hand, and that's this fight right here with Pacquiao and Thurman. And I just want to talk about Pacquiao's record coming into this fight. If it does happen, he got 61 wins with 39 knockouts, 7 losses, and 2 draws. Now, let's be real. Pacquiao does not have 7 losses. You know what I mean? The Timothy Bradley fight, he won clearly. Jeff Horn fight, I thought he won clearly. And then when Marquez knocked him out, I mean, they had already fought. That's the 4th time. And then he caught him. You know what I mean? It happens in a fight. But let's not forget, Marquez, he was the biggest I've ever seen him. And I'm going to just leave it at that. But, yeah, man, Manny Pacquiao is a legendary fighter. Him taking this fight is amazing, because we're putting him in there with one of these young, you know, in their prime fighters. You know what I mean? So, and Pacquiao's already at 40 years old, and he's still in the game, and he still holds a piece of a championship belt at the welterweight division. And then come mid-July, we're going to see if he's able to hold that belt by himself and dethrone Keith Thurman. But if Keith Thurman wins this fight, man, he has all the options in the world to go from here. He can fight the winner of the Errol Spence, Sean Porter. He can call out, you know, Terrence Crawford, even though Terrence Crawford ain't going to fight anybody on the PBC side anytime soon. It's not looking like, you know, we'll see if that fight can potentially be made at some point soon. But yeah, this fight is going to be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. And if it gets made, then we will do a breakdown of who we think is going to win. So until next time, I just want to drop my thoughts on this potential Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman fight. I am Reason, and this has been Turn Up the AC Hot Takes. Go ahead and comment, hate, debate, whatever you want to do. We appreciate it all. Until next time, once again, I am Reason, and we are out.